Good morning and welcome aboard. We're getting all set up here for the trading morning. If you're coming in for the first time as a guest, welcome aboard. If you're coming in as a repeat guest, make sure you sign up for Sol's Monthly. Hey, Dan, how are you? Jandu, it looks like you did go out and come back in. How are you making out? Hey, Roop. Hey, Frank. JS, let me know if you can hear us. Hey, Chandu, that's great. Hey, Chandu, let me send this out to you so you have it. It's coming out to you now. For those that are joining us on the outside, join us on the inside. Look for the link. Hey, Warren. Good morning. Sal should be joining us shortly. When he pops in, he's going to give out today's levels, this morning's levels. Hey, Maureen, good morning. Thank you for yesterday, Maureen. Hey, Steve P. Hey, Steve, are you part of, I know Steve P is, but Steve, are you part of Sal's Monthly? Let me know back in chat. And again, if we don't hear from people, we just disconnect you. If we disconnect you, you go into Zoom hell or Zoom prison, and we don't want that to happen to you. So Jay, let me know if you're back in action here. Hey Uzi, welcome. Hey Uzi, is this your first time here? So let me know back in chat. Use the chat feature to respond. So you know what I'll do is I'll send it to you. I mean, you would know if you've done this. I think it's your time. Plus, it's a good opportunity for you. Let me know if you got that, Jay. Hey, Tim.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Can everybody hear me all right? All right. Fantastic. Thank you, Timmy. Let's give you our levels for this morning, and let's see where the market takes us. A little bit lower here, a little profit taking after the number came out this morning. So we'll give you some levels and we'll see what happens. Our pivot this morning is 39.10, 39.10. Resistance above at 18.25, 32, 37. Support below at 3900, 38.90, 84, and 70, 77. Pivot 39.10, support 3900, 38.90, 84, 77. Resistance on the upside at 18, 25, 32, 37. Welcome to some of the new folks that have joined us this morning. We are trading mini S&Ps here. We have these levels that we give out as a guide to the day. Nothing's etched in stone, obviously. We can get volatility. We cannot get volatility. We won't know how busy we're going to be on any given day. We just have to take what the market gives us and go from there. But the levels that we give out is just like a guide. We don't believe markets go straight up or straight down. Consequently, we find these inflection points via these levels for setups as well as price action opportunities once the market paints some bars. We focus more on the morning hours to give us good opportunities. We feel that there's good ebbs and flows during those times. In addition to the fact that there's some, I think, more traders trading at those times, and again, the late afternoon trade becomes a little bit more one-sided and slippery. So we are looking for about 2 to 3 points on our trades here. You know, given volatility, always a unknown. Sometimes we might have to extend those stops a little bit. Sometimes we have to, keep them about the same, but minimally 2 to 3 points. But sometimes we might have to, expand those ranges a little bit, maybe 5, 6 points, or 4 or 5 points, depending on how busy we're going to be and the volatility at any given day. And we never know how that's going to be day to day, because you just don't know how the markets are going to react every single day. That's what makes this business so interesting and exciting. If you look at the chat box area, and if you have any questions, that's the way to get to me. Just put your questions in the chat box area. In the chat box area, you'll see that the levels have been printed up for you, so that you can visually see them versus me giving it to you over this speaker. So if you want to, again, like I said, this is like a guide for us. Nothing's etched in stone. We can make adjustments to those levels as the day goes on, all dependent on price action. So keep that in mind if you're trading. And then just try to we try to take advantage of these opportunities when the markets present themselves. Sometimes we get many opportunities, and sometimes not so many. We average maybe about 4 to 5 trades in the course of a day. That's not too bad. We try to keep our cost of doing business, or the brokerage fees, down, because we just don't like to give them money. To keep it in our own accounts is better than giving them money. So don't. The point there is not to overtrade, and to pick your spots, and to stay focused on the opportunities that occur in the morning hours, because I think we get good ebbs and flows that way. All right, so market downtick in here a little bit, support down at the even area. Like I said, there was a number that came out this morning, and the market kind of reacted negatively to it a little bit. It was producer price index and retail sales. So those numbers came out this morning, creating this little push here to the downside, support down at the even area. There are a lot of Fed speaks this morning, this coming week, I should say. Today also, there's one at 9 o'clock, and there's one right now that's talking. And business inventories is coming out here at 9 o'clock, in addition to National Association of Home Builders Housing Index. That's also at 9 o'clock. So we have a couple numbers to be here released at the 9 o'clock at the top of the hour. So keep that in mind if you're trading. And there's also a 20-year bond auction that's going to be released at noon. And then at 1 o'clock, Chicago time, these are all Chicago times, there's going to be FOMC minutes from the last meeting. It's going to be released. Now, I don't know if you've been noticing, but the bond market has increased its yield, or bonds going down, over the last 10 trading days, as the market has as our market has gone up, equities have gone up, and the fear of rising interest rates, how the Fed is going to handle that, is probably going to be a topic of conversation with the Fed speakers when they have their speeches. So if there's something going on in the background, you want to be mindful of that somebody is might be talking, and you don't want to be. We don't like to trade when there is some fundamental news coming out, like at 9 o'clock, and or if there's a Fed speak or anything like that, because you never know what can affect the market and get some volatility when we have a position on. We don't like to trade when there's a number or some Fed speak at any given moment. So keep that in mind if you're talking, as the bond market has definitely, yields have inched up a little bit. I want to say the yield on a 10 is at 130-ish, 128, 125 now, probably just a little rally. And the S&P and the 30 years at around 205. So it's inching up here a little bit over the last because of this talk about all the stimulus and all the money that's going to be infused by the Fed as we bounce here off of the 01 area, and we had even. So it's a little bit frustrating there for us to come to this close and then watch this little bounce here. So if you're a little risk averse, maybe you are careful there around the 01, because the even area, because we just missed it by just that much. Maybe you lower your number of contracts that you're trading, or lower your entry point a little bit. Something to take into consideration, the fact that we just missed our entry point down at the 01 area. The even area, sorry. Okay. So again, remember I said not the levels are not etched in stone. You have to make adjustments based on price action. And so this was one price action here that we just missed out on our level, and so consequently becomes a little bit more riskier than it was if we picked it up just a moment ago. So we have a couple numbers to be released here at 9 o'clock. So that could always affect the market. So we'll see where we're at top of the hour there, and we'll go from there. Why is Is it cold outside? Well, I don't know. It's all relative, I guess. 0. Is that cold? Wind chill is the worst. It's always the worst, wind chill. It's cold everywhere. Even it's cold by even California, it's cold. But even Florida, 68 is not that warm down there for Florida. But what do I know? All right. Again, we talked about a little bit of the fact that we missed the even area becomes a little bit more riskier, and such is the case. If you're a little bit more risk averse, you're probably canceling it. If you are trading multiple contracts, you're adjusting your entry points and maybe adjusting your number of contracts that you're trading, because of the way it traded just previous to that. That's a price action. That's how you can deduce a little bit from what the price action was. So next level on the downside we have is down at 90. Again, you can take your cues from the market. That's what it's kind of tells us. Maybe you could have gone short on the rotation back up. I only got up to 9. Our pivot there was 10. Maybe you could have, if you were looking for a place to get in, that could have been a little bit. All right, bouncing here a little bit. Again, if you adjusted your entry point there, maybe about a point or so, that is possible. You're getting a nice rotation here. Remember I said, adjust your entry point a little. There's different ways of dealing with how the market reacts to certain levels, and if you did adjust there, you're getting paid off here very nicely. And again, it's just not not everything is etched in stone, and everybody trades differently, right? I mean, that's just the way it is, the nature of the beast here. And so how you enter your trades, how you make adjustments to your trades, how you work your trades after you get filled are all part of the individualized risk parameters that everybody has. And what we try to do, we try to work with everybody to try to maximize your profits based on your risk tolerance. And I just kind of talked through one of them right there as we adjusted a little bit on our entry points. And hopefully so did you, and take advantage of that. Well, we probably adjusted it down to the 98, 99 area. Again, all depending on how much risk you want to take, or some of you canceled the trade altogether, right? So hopefully you did that, and you were able to take advantage of this little trade. Resistance now would be at the pivot. You can say that, but anything above 14, you want to be out of any longs, the shorts, I'm sorry. You'll be out of any shorts if you get above 14. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask. Put them in the chat box area. If some of you have just walked in a little bit late, or joined us a little bit late, I should say. Nobody walks into Zoom, I guess. Anyway, if you look at the chat box area, we're going to have the levels printed up there. There they are in the chat box area. You can see those visually, and kind of use them as a guide, like I said, and I also said that you have to adjust sometimes based on the price action. Nice little rotation here in the bond market. They need a little bit of a recovery after the last 10 trading days, where they've averaged 15 basis points, or 8 or 9 basis points. That's from the work that we came up with. That's how we interpret the price action. That's where I got the 14 from. All right, so again, be a little bit mindful here of the fact that we have a number top of the hour, a nice rotation, a nice push off of the adjusted even area there. Again, we talked about adjusting it just a little bit lower based on the price action. If you did that, a nice little bounce there off of that level, and obviously if you're coming back up here to our pivot, that's where your target is. Your target, you're going to get out of some of these if you did happen to stay long. And this is an opportunity for you to take a little bit more than 2 to 3 points on your trades, depending on the number of contracts you trade. Also, depending on what your risk tolerances are. All of those considerations come into play when you try to take more than 2 to 3 points on your trades. And this is one example here. If you got filled down there, you get out of some and then take your profits, and then the rest to try to get a target up here. The pivot here in the 10 area would be a nice little exit strategy for any longs that you might have been able to keep from the lower level. Also, we said that we had some resistance up here at 10, so we did get a nice little bounce off of this level. We got a nice little quick 2 points on this little trade here. Again, we're scalping the market. If you got short there around the 10 area, you get paid off here a little bit. Again, all we're trying to do is take advantage of ebbs and flows, our areas, our levels. And we said that you want to be out of any shorts above 14. And we also said we had resistance there at 10. And again, we're scalping, so we're taking 2 to 3 points. If you're trading multiple contracts, you try to take a little bit more than that, but again, you don't have to. You can just take your scalping market when it's presented to you and go from there. So that's what we had another nice rotation there off of our resistance level. We said that we had resistance at 10, and we got a nice little bounce off of that. Anything that I say, whether they be levels that we don't want to be short above, or whether we have some resistance or some support or make adjustments, these are all things that we teach in our education course. The goal of which is to make sure that you try to become an independent trader without me sitting here telling you stuff. I need you and want you, would like you to find these opportunities on your own, to get the levels, find the levels on your own, and then make the adjustments accordingly, especially as the day goes on, especially if you like to trade a lot, and if you try to trade more than 4 or 5 times a day. Even on slow days, sometimes you can get opportunities to trade if you are trying to take advantage of the price action the market presents itself. But like I said earlier, I think the bulk of our trading is done probably in the morning hours, as the afternoon trade sometimes gets a little bit skittish, low volume, and the volatility or the movement isn't as strong as it is during the first couple hours of the morning. All right, we're back here at our pivot, so totally don't have an opinion anymore. So we're flat. We got long down there. Maybe you got short against the 10. They got a nice rotation down. Right now we're kind of flat here, but we had a nice couple quick trades there in the first 15 minutes. If you were hanging in there with us, as we rotate back up here a little bit. And we'll see what it wants. So again, we're flat now. We don't got anything going on. Next level on the upside, we have resistance is the 18 area. Don, last week is last week. Stop bringing up last week. Tell me trouble you had around 13 last week. Really? Last week. Who remembers last week? I'm lucky I remember what happened yesterday. Obviously, it was very traumatic, 13 area for you last week, because you were still remembering it this week. Sorry. Sorry about that. I mean, he's telling me 13. I ate dirt all around 13 last week. I mean, last week, what the hell? The hell last week? I honestly don't remember what happened yesterday. You want me to remember what happened last week? No, I can't. He's Don's a nice guy. Don's a really, I mean, Don makes this room go around. He used to be called the Moon Man. He's graduated to filling in for me now when I have to take it, if I have to leave early or something. So he used to get like his trading inspiration from location of lunar levels in the sky, and he used to share them with me. I did not share them with everybody else because I didn't really believe in lunar positions, but lunar ticks, yes, that's something like that. I'm joking, by the way. Just joking. He was called the Moon Man, but for different reasons. Okay, I know some of you think I was like serious there for a second. Yeah, I mean, I would. I mean, I wouldn't get short here. Looking for a little. I'm looking at 18 as as some resistance on the upside. All right, so we're flat here again, like I said earlier. Kind of just waiting to see what happens. There's a number coming out here in about 10 minutes. I don't know why our clock's not working up here. What the hell's wrong with this thing? Well, this thing is right. Why isn't it? Okay. What do I do now? Default. Okay. And it's not working. No idea. Oh, I know there's definitely some traders who trade the lunar calendar. Absolutely. But not us here. All right, there's your above 14 rally that I thought might happen. And like I said, hopefully we're out of any shorts. We didn't want to be short above it. And we got some resistance up here at the 18 area. Blue band stopping it, as Don would say also. Of course, we get up to 17 and a quarter on top of everything else. But we're in the same bar, so we'll see what happens. All right, again, if anybody has any questions, chat box. Whoa. I guess I had, guess that was fun. I guess they hit those stops all of a sudden. Coming back down here to the 18, and since you don't like that price action, maybe you get out of some here just to lessen your risk because it had a little weird price action. So you're given a chance here to scratch some if you don't like that price action, and maybe hold a little bit to see if we can get a little rotation here as it absorbed that little poke up there. Doesn't always go the way you want it, right? Well, sometimes it was. Yesterday we got the poke the other way. We got filled and then boom, right away. Today, again, not so much fun. You have to actually work it. Again, I suggested you scratch some of them if you did get filled on multiple contracts there, only because of the way the price action was. I mean, you don't have to. Again, we're not. You don't have to love a trade. Just because we have a level doesn't mean you have to love it. You're working it. That's all. That's about it with trading. You never know what's going to happen in any given trade, right? You just never know. But we can try to protect ourselves, and we try to make adjustments to the price action, like we did all on the downside, like we're doing up here right now against this 18. Again, giving you a chance here to scratch some or make a little bit on it, only because it's giving you that opportunity, and then hey, we'll look for the next opportunity after that. Doesn't matter if it works out or if it doesn't work out and you scratched it, it's all right. We're going to get some more trade. And look at that. We got 3 or 4 trades here in the first 25 minutes. That's pretty good. All right, we do have a number coming out here in about 5 minutes. We don't like to have any positions on when numbers are released, so keep that in mind if you're trading. We'd like to be flat when numbers are out, or at least when we know numbers are. There's always news that comes out when we don't know anything about, but at least if we do know, when the fundamental number is being released, we don't have to have a position on during it, right? There's always going to be some news that affects the market that surprises us, which is fine. And that's why we keep our stops in there and trade away with our stops. All right. The blistering rally in Bitcoin is continuing this morning as crypto tacked on another $1,500 a day after breaking above 50,000 level. For the first time in history, more are showing support for the alternative asset, with MasterCard and Bank of New York making it easier for customers to use cryptocurrency. Tesla also invested $1.5 billion in the Bitcoin, and now is up at least 20% of that. Not bad for him. All right, Dove, take it easy. Markets could be dizzying even without drugs. So I think Bitcoin is a much more stable asset class today than it was 3 years ago, said some CEO of enterprise software MicroStrategy. In March of 2020, you saw institutions start to arrive, and I think in 2021 we're going to see the trend continue. Their enthusiasm for Bitcoin as a medium of exchange, but I personally believe that the compelling use case is a store of value. I don't know. I'm getting a little confused with this Bitcoin thing. I mean, people are using it, so that means it's going to be good. But people were using it 2 years ago. Still, I don't know. Anyway, all right, we're just kind of hanging here on this 18. Again, if you did take it, we suggested scratching some, again, paid, or taking a little bit of profit off of it. Otherwise, we have a number coming out here in about 3 minutes, so be mindful of that. All right, so we do have a number coming out here, and we'll have to deal with that, and then we'll see what happens after that, right? You don't have to trade when there's a number, at least when we know there's a number. MicroStrategy even announced Tuesday it will offer $600 million in convertible bonds to buy Bitcoin. There is speculation that it offered a blueprint to Tesla's Bitcoin purchase after an exchange between two leaders there. We were short at 18. Yes. And like I said, we would cover them or take some profits, a little short profits, especially right here and getting out before the number. The 10-year Treasury yield topped 1.3% yesterday after hitting 1.2 on Friday, while the 30-year gained 8 basis points to 208. The financials also took off due to the steepening of the yield curve. A rapid advance is prompting some chatter over the high yield. High yields can climb before spoiling the risk asset rally, as well as what it might mean when combined with more fiscal stimulus. All right, so nice rotation here if you did happen to stay short with this thing. But again, we have a number in a minute, so I would suggest that we exit and see what happens with the number. And if you did stay short, nice, you're getting paid off. Had to absorb that first, those stops. And that's what happens sometimes. You get those stops that run you through a level. We'll call that spillage or whatever you want to call it. And so you have to absorb that, and then the market did kind of turn over here and give us a nice little profit against that 18 once we absorbed the little extension there of the stops. All right, we have this number coming out here in a little bit. So we'll see what that does for us. Next level on the upside, we have resistance is the 25 area. All right, nice trade there, Robert. As the numbers are out here, I see a little bit of a rotation up here to the upside. Okay, again, we don't like to trade numbers, and we're always going to have opportunity to trade after the number. So there's usually, and the only reason I'm even telling you this is because every time I had a number on or a position on when a number was released, never worked out for me. I have no idea. I always knew what my position was and said, you know what, let's mess with him a little bit. So I take that. I'm just going to tell you, let's not even let the market think that way. Let it mess with you. Don't. All right, so it's out here again. We get below 12, we could have a rotation to the downside. Next level on the upside we have is the 25 area. Again, we are taking advantage of ebbs and flows of the market. We're trying to find these inflection points based on the price action. We have the levels that we gave out this morning. If somebody can repeat the levels in the chat box area. If you look at the chat box area, you'll find the levels there. Those are a guide for us to kind of use as the day goes on and to take the opportunities when the market present themselves. We focus on the morning hours to help us with the good opportunities there. We've had like 3, maybe 4, depending on how aggressive you want it to be here, of trades. Again, these are just opportunities that the market gives us based on price action and the work that we do. If any are interested in any of this stuff, trading futures or mini S&Ps, you can take anything that we teach you here and use it in other markets as well. So they're not just solely for us and S&Ps, but S&Ps trade well technically. And I think any market that trades well technically, you can take some of the work that we do and use it in other areas as well. We just focus in on one market here because we feel it's important to know the reasons that the markets go up and down. We somewhat know what the reasons are with equities. Kind of tough to know, to be an expert at all fields or all levels of futures trading with, let's say, cattle or grains, or whatever million other contracts to trade out there. But at least we focus in on a market that we try to understand the fundamentals that affect it. Not going to be perfect, but at least more people talk about it, and there's a lot more volatility in this market, and it's not as thin as, let's say, the oil market or even Forex. Forex, you can become a little bit more one-sided because I think it's the banks have control over that market more than anything else. So we'll see what happens. So talked about the treasury yields. I think it's starting to be consideration here for the market a little bit. So let's try to add on to that. We see stronger growth and negative real rates ahead. The vaccine-led restart accelerates, and the central banks limit the use of nominal yields, even as inflation expectations climb. Said BlackRock. Inflation will have different implications than the past. The policy revolution as response to the COVID shock implies that the real yield, will be less responsive to rising inflation risk than in the past episodes. This suggests risk assets will perform better than past inflationary periods. Basically saying that stocks will be better in a inflationary period, but you got to be careful there because it's a very fine line between what the Fed is doing, with the monetary policy, and what the government is doing with fiscal policy, and what it's going to be doing to yields and inflation. And if you look at the dollar recently, dollar has gone up because inflation fears are getting back into the market. So you have that consideration. So just something to think, as we are trading this post election, post COVID, maybe I'm saying post, hopefully soon, when people get. All right, Steve, nice trade. People get vaccinated. It would be a little bit more postish, but it's getting there. It's getting out of this crazy world where new life we've been living at. That things got to be you got to be concerned there with the money that's available in the markets. That's what I'm basically trying to get you, and how it's going to affect the stock market at some point, right? We don't know what point, at some point. If you look at historical norms, valuations are stretched, but we've never seen the long bond at 1.3%, and so we're in uncharted waters here. So higher PEs are justified based on lower interest rates. The other thing is the Fed is going to be highly accommodative, and they're going to keep interest rates low, and so you have that wind on your back. So many factors here that how much fiscal policy they're going to add on, how much money they're going to be throwing into the market to keep bond yields low. And that's why we don't trade bonds anymore. By the way, if somebody asks why, we used to trade bonds a lot, but because it's basically being run by the Fed, they pretty much own the bond market. It's kind of hard to trade that anymore. So, all right, we did not get below 12 there. We said below 12 we might go lower. We kind of hugged the 12, and is now basically trading on both sides here of our blue band. So very, this market's trying to figure out what it wants to do. Looks like it maybe wants to turn over, but again, gotta get below 12 and go lower. We'll see. Our preference is for stocks over bonds, supported by lower interest rates, is one of the highest convictions I recommended in 2021. Several segments of the equity markets, particularly the energy sectors and banks, offer higher yields than traditional high-quality bonds and offer attractive capital appreciation potential as interest rates rise. There we go. This 13 is definitely playing mind games with Don. That's all I'm going to tell you. He's really, Don, I think you should go back out, come back an hour later and see where it's at. It'll probably be over 13, but it's really playing mind games with you because you're starting to like hallucinate. Tell me these stories about what happened 3 days ago, 4 days ago, last week with 13. First of all, that's how long we've been around 13, that's another story. But he's having a little issue with 13 right now. He keeps bringing it up to me. I can't even like share all the stories with you because they're like, I feel terrible for him. I mean, they're bad stories. So, right, Timmy. It's a good thing it's not Friday the 13th. He'd really be going nuts, right? And a full moon. Oh my God. Could you imagine? Friday the 13th and a full moon and him having problems around 13. Oh. And I would tell him that day to stay in here and you know, take over for me that day. All right, so we hugged the 12. We didn't get below it, and we came right off of it. So it was obviously a very it's a very interesting area, at least for the time being. Never got below it. You could almost say it was like the last inch of support area, and it kind of held. All right, nice trade there, Robert. And we come right up here to 20. Next level resistance we have is 25. The switch to electric vehicles is happening faster as consumers increasingly accept the industry shift, and governments across the globe unveil plans to regulate diesel and gasoline vehicles. Ford is the latest to announce that the entire passenger vehicle range in Europe would be zero emissions capable, all electric or plug-in hybrid by 2024, with a completely all electric offering by 2030. In fact, Ford will invest $1 billion on the electric vehicle production facility in Germany, retooling an existing assembly plant to produce the next generation lineup. There you go. We are going electric. You just have to do the infrastructure. I mean, you got to get rid of all these gas stations. Think of all the gas stations around the country, right? How do you? Oh, I love 13. Look at Don. Don is just he figured it. He figured it out that time. We are range bound here, big time. You know, love is a very big word for Don. You know, he doesn't express his feelings that way too often. All right, now we're back here at the 13 area, 12 area. And see what it wants. We're range bound here. We got 21 on the upside, 13 on the downside. Just range bound here. Okay, and I'll say right now anything below 10 out of any longs, since we're bouncing back and forth here. Our announcement today is to transform our Germany facility, the home of our operations in Germany for 90 years, is one of the most significant Ford has ever made over the generations, said President of Ford Europe. It underlines our commitment to Europe and a modern future with electric vehicles as heart of our strategy for growth. Ford currently rules the United States and European markets for gasoline-powered commercial vehicles with a share of 40% and nearly 15% respectively, the big trucks. Earlier this month, the automaker said it would double down on the connected electric vehicles, investing $22 billion in electrification through 2025, nearly twice what it had previously committed to the EV dream. Last month, General Motors said that it would aim for an entirely zero-emission lineup by 2035, while Volkswagen announced a 35 billion euro investment in battery electric vehicles, with roughly 70 all-electric models by 2030. South Korea's carmaker Kia also launching its first dedicated electric vehicle this year, and while Jaguar, Land Rover, said its luxury Jaguar brand would be entirely electric by 2025 and the rest of the lineup by 2030. So I guess we're going electric. Look at Don calling out his trades. I love it. Love it. Nice trade, Don. See, now he's going to be gone the rest of the day. Going out to take care of the ice that's collecting on his estate. I thought you got people to do that for you, Don. Is it getting warmer down there in Texas where you're at? All I know is we got your nasty snow that you had. We got it here yesterday. I had a lot of snow yesterday. Oh, yeah, I know. That's the thing. Like in March here, if it snows in March, like it get cold and it snows in March, but by the time you're in mid-March, it's already the next day, the average temperature is around 35 to 40 by then. So it gets back above freezing and it's all gone by the next day. But we have had 2 feet of snow here without a day above 30, about a day above freezing. All right, market down ticking here. We said get below the 10 area. It's trying to do that and get a little bit lower. Well, look, support would be back around. If you're looking for support, would be around 7. If you're looking to scalp, but this is getting a little choppy in here. Market a little bit doesn't know what it wants to do. Well, it looks like it wants to go down, but who knows, right? Resistance right now would be around, not gonna. There's no really good resistance until you get up to 20, but doesn't look like we're going there. We did say we get below 10 here. We might go trade a little bit lower, look for 7. Maybe it holds the blue band there, 14. I don't know. This is like a little tricky area here to trade, right? The market's getting a little bit, doesn't know what it wants to do. So Israel administered the most COVID-19 vaccine doses per capita in the world, with more than 4 million citizens having received the first dose of Pfizer's and Moderna vaccines since the vaccination campaign began in December 20th. That represents about 44% of the country's population, with more than 28% have received a second dose. Among those over 60, more than 80% have already been vaccinated, and anyone over the age of 16 can now be inoculated immediately. Well, I mean, it's only 8 million people top, so they can definitely able to do that. Those efforts are bearing fruit, according to the latest data. Israel's largest healthcare provider said that a study of 600,000 people who received 2 doses of vaccine found that there have been 94% drop in symptomatic COVID-19 infections and 92 fewer cases of severe illnesses among those given the shot. It also showed that vaccine was equally effective among people 70 and older as it is among younger participants, and was most successful 1 week after the second dose, mirroring the company's own clinical studies. In early January, Israel struck a vaccine for data deal with Pfizer that promised to share a vast trove of information with the drug giant in exchange for a continuing flow of the vaccine, COVID-19 shot, as the market gets really slippery here. Just bouncing around all over the place. Not a time to trade. This is like the no trade zone over here. Israel will share with Pfizer and with the entire world the statistical data that will help develop strategies for defeating the virus. No funding was all allotted for the agreement, and the countries even paid a sizable premium for the vaccine dosages. Helping to demonstrate the impact of the vaccine on the entire population, Israel highly digital universal healthcare system, which requires everyone over the age of 18 to register with one of its 4 HMOs. All right, you can see how slippery this is getting. Get below 10 here, trying to keep it a little bit short, but it did rally all the way up to 16 and came back off. I suggest a little resistance at 14, maybe, if you wanted to. Looking for a place to get short there. We said we're going to have support here at the 07. Got down here to 7.25. Trying to see if it wants to bounce here a little bit. If you are short, maybe you cover them down in here. Getting a little nervous, this little market right now. Coming down here to the 7 as a little support area. But very, like I said, only if you're very aggressive and you want to trade this. All right, now we got a nice little rotation there off of our 7 area. Got down to 6.25. Again, these are levels that the market kind of gives us after the market paints some bars, like I said earlier. And you can find a little buying opportunity there, and a nice little pop up above 9, giving us a little bit of a 2-point opportunity. And that's what you're trying to do off of these price action plays. So remember, if we're going to be trading later on, that at 1 o'clock, FOMC minutes are going to be released, and there could be a little bit of a market mover at that time. Only because they're going to be talking about what they talked about in the last meeting. So you never know. Never know how that could affect the market. So like I said, we don't like to, if we know there's a number coming out, we don't like to trade it. So, let me get you a coat there. You want one of my winter coats there, Robert? Since the market just completely dropped from 80 to 60. I mean, seriously. Sorry. All right, market here continues to downtick again. If you were short there, we said around 14 or 10-ish. You got down here to 7. We said a little support. We had a nice rotation off of that 7 area, and we got a nice quick bounce. Again, all we're trying to do is find these levels where we can try to take a little advantage of it. You got to be patient and wait for them. Sometimes you think that the level is not going to be triggered because I give you a level that's far away, and then all of a sudden we're there, and then you get a nice rotation. And so it's a matter of being a little bit patient sometimes. They might never get there. They might. Who knows? It doesn't really matter as long as you have good reasons to trade and find logical entry points to give yourself confidence in the ability to find these trades and to be able to execute them. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask them in the chat box area. All right, so now we're coming down here. Next level on the downside we have would be down at the 02 if you're looking for a little bit of a scalp. Otherwise, since we already traded the even area, I would look for next good support would be down at that 90 if you're looking for some good support. All right there, Maureen. It did pop up there really quick at the 18 area. So that was it got up to, if you had 3 point stop, I think it would have been okay. Would you have been? No, it was right there. Again, yeah. I mean, I didn't have, I know it happened so fast that I didn't even have a chance to put in my stop. So uh, I'm sure probably that's because it came right off of it. I mean, as soon as it was just one of those weird, and that's the only reason. Honestly, that's the only reason I don't put it on, because of those situations. Because we never know when that vacuum is going to occur, and so I don't like to. I can always adjust it and put it in afterwards, and I do usually after that initial bolt. And that was a perfect example why I don't, initially like to put those stops in there mechanically. Then I can always adjust it afterwards. All right, we continue to down tick here. Again, a little next, if you're looking for a trade, a little support area would be down at 02. If you're short, that's where I would look to cover. That would be a target. Don might be flying out to hang out with you in Florida. I might be gassing up the jet so he comes and hangs out with you. He's got his own like airstrip on his property too. I bet you didn't know that. Don't we all wish we were in Florida, Maureen? Seriously, this is brutal over here. Oh, what the hell? It's been like crazy cold, and the snow. They say like they got 2 feet of snow here since the last any day above freezing, and and the last time they had 2 feet of snow, it was 1979 around Chicago. And believe it or not, and that was the year that I was up on roofs taking snow off roofs because a lot of roofs were caving in because of the weight of all the snow. And sure enough, that's what's happening now. There's a whole bunch of roofs that are caving in there. But it brought me back to my ute when I was up on roofs making some good cash at the time. You know, people were afraid of the roofs caving in, so I was up there taking care of that for them. And that's when you were crazy. And so the way we got off the roof was we just jumped off, just jumped off into the sand, into the snow. Yeah, we were crazy. I probably wouldn't do that again. So, but I'm just saying. But yeah, that was the last time, and I kept saying that story. I was starting to hear these Ruskan K giving in, and brought me back to those stories when I was in my youth. And sure enough, that's the last time we've had so much snow in one period of time without like a thawing day. Crazy. Yeah, we were. We definitely were. All right, you can see how choppy we are a little bit here. We said that a little support down at O2, and I got down to 3 and change, came back up. Definitely in a little choppy area here. Again, probably a no trade zone is probably the best way to save your money, right? I would suggest that. It's kind of jumping around all over the place for no reason. So be a little bit careful. All right, we're coming up to our blue band there. Trying to bounce off here a little bit. All right, now we rotate back down here. If you did take our blue band opportunity there, you're getting paid off. All right, we are very, 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 very choppy here. So, yeah, the blue band has always been a good trade. Like I said uh, yesterday in our class, it's one of those things that you just take. You believe in it and you take it. If you don't believe in it, don't take it.
Hey, a quick shout out and some programming notes. Want to welcome those that are just joining us as returning guests and as guests today. You're connecting right to Sal Shawool at his trading cave. He is normally on the CME Group trading floor in Chicago. He is a CME Group floor member. He is actively scalping the S&P 500 E-mini for his own trading account. If you're coming in from the outside, look for the link to join us on the inside. You can also connect to us via pitiq.tv. That's www.pitiq.tv. We're here every day live trading and scalping the S&P 500 E-mini based on a particular trading strategy. It is a price action trading strategy. It starts out with setting key proprietary scalping levels right around the cash open. Saul waits to the 9:30 bell. He goes to his screens. He lays out various zones for today's trade that he is looking at as opportunity areas to put on his trades based on his price action entries, exits, and stops, his price action trading methodology, which is a opportunity here. So we have guests coming in. Welcome guests. We have returning guests coming in. As a returning guest, we ask you to roll over into a monthly with us. I do have that information ready to go out again. I send it out on an individual basis or an individualized basis. Hey, Chandu, I'm going to send it out to you. Hey, Biger. Hey, Dean, Don. Hey, Dev, hope you're feeling better. Hey, Frank, Fred, Glenn, HD, Joel, KG, Kurt. Hey, Maureen. And Maureen, again, thanks for yesterday. great to get that kind of information. Hey, Michael R., are you signed up for Sol's Monthly? Hey, HD. So, Mike R., let me know. I don't want you to get swept out by the AI bot that puts you into Zoom prison. Well, why don't we do that now before you end up in Zoom prison? Let's make this your last hurrah before it sweeps you out. I can't stop it, so just notes how many times you've been in and how many times we chatted. Hey, Pedro, Peter O. Hey, Prasad. Hey, Prasad, did you sign up for Sol's Monthly? I think you're on the countdown list for that crazy thing. That's okay. We've all been working. I appreciate it. You know, it just takes a minute to do it. And it's only available, Michael R., in that link. And I keep trying to give you the best opportunity based on the link. I just don't want you to get exited and put into, then we have to bribe the guard to get you out. You got it. So let me know when it's done so I can authorize you in the background. Hey, Prasad, are you there? Just let me know back in chat. Hey, Robert. Hey, Robert, see you. You made some changes on your monthly. I don't think you're continuing on the monthly. So let me know if you want to come back in. I'll send it out to you so you get the same rate that you got before. Usually jumps up to $3.79 if you cancel, but I'm not sure you did that on purpose, so just let me know. Hey, Michael, it's $100 for the month. So Robert, I just sent it to you. Instead of $3.79, it's 100. It's a gift. It's $25 a week. Come and go as you please. Don't come and go as you please. It's a gift. Just out of respect. It's respect for Saul. Hey, me? I don't know. I don't know about the respect part. Yeah, right. I think you just have to sign up again. Just use the same link so that you're in, and I'll give you the discount, obviously, and I'll roll you over at it. I'll do the same for Michael. Hey, Prasad, are you around? Let me know back in chat. Hey, Roop, Tim M, Timothy V. Hey, Andrea, welcome back. Hey, Uzi. Let me know if you're there. I'll send it out to you, Uzi, too, so you have it. So you don't feel left out, you know? And Chandu, did you surface? Just let me know. And Dove, I've been on some of those crazy prescription drugs. Just be careful with them, but I know you need them. So Prasad, let me know if you're back. Uzi, let me know if you're back. Use the chat feature to respond. Robert, let me know when you're done so I can authorize you to keep it. Michael, the same. Oh, thanks, Robert. Welcome, welcome as a continuing member of the family. And I think everybody appreciates it. We've got 90% or 95% people really appreciate what Sol does on a daily basis for them as individual traders. The other 5% are in therapy. Yeah, I know I wasn't on before, but he's getting hit with some mighty cold weather. We're getting hit in New York, but I think it was 23 when I got up today. Wasn't that bad? But we've had it down to where it's crazy temps, into the low teens. I'm sorry, into the low single digits. But it's usually when the polar vortex comes into town. So, Michael, let me know when you're done so we can authorize you in the background so you can roll over at that opportunity. And Dove, I'll do the same thing if you so choose. Uzi, I do it for you too. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. No disrespecto if that's what happens. So they're claiming we're supposed to get snow again tomorrow in New York. Yeah, I can't believe it. So 6 to 10 inches. We haven't had this kind of snow in, since I was a boy. I used to deliver milk with my granddad in the horse and buggy, the early morning milk deliveries, those big silver jugs, and there'd be a lot of snow. All right, I'll be in the background if anybody needs me. If you need to know anything about Sal's trading education and his intensive, just raise your hand and I can set up a time to talk with you privately and personally. And if anybody gets caught up in the bot, in the AI that gives you the heave, I'll give you our telephone number. This is in Chicago. It's 312 685 2582. That's 312 685 2582. So if you end up in Zoom jail for whatever reason, we'll negotiate with the jailers to try to get you out. It's probably better if you're part of the family to do that. And again, I'll be in the background. Thank you. And for those that are joining us on the outside, join us on the inside. If you want to learn how to scalp, you want to learn how to trade, join us live in Zoom. Right now it's 10:55 a.m. on Wednesday, February 17th, 2021. Everything we do is for educational purposes only. Nothing is to be taken as direct investment or trading advice. You are trading between you and your broker. Susie, let me know if you're back. Michael, let me know how you made out. And again, I'll be in the background. Hey, quick shout and welcome to Mark B. Hey, Mark, welcome. Hey, Mark, give us a quick sound check. Let us know that you see our charts and hear my voice. That's for Mark B. Hey, Chandu, did you make it back? Just let me know in chat, Chandu. And Uzi, did you make it back? Uzi? And Mark B, just use the chat feature to respond. Should be able to see a series of 3 charts in a separate chart window, 2 time frames for the S&P 500 E-mini and a 30-year bond chart. Also want to welcome those that are joining us on the outside. Hey, look for the link and join us on the inside in Zoom. Hey, Mark. Hey, Mark, what are you trading? Okay, great. We're focused on intraday E-mini trades. Looking to do 2, 3, 4, 5 trades intra morning, I should say. Right now it's 11:33 a.m. Eastern time. We've been here since about 9:15ish Eastern time, right before the bell. We look to be done in the first hour and a half, 2 hours of trading, having banked our money for the trading morning. So if you're interested in that type of thing, that's what we do, on a daily basis. Everything we do here is for educational purposes only. Nothing is to be taken as direct trading advice. Hey, Uzi, you back? Let me know in chat. Jan, do let me know if you're back. Use the chat feature to respond. Not a problem. Glad you came in and checked it out. Hey, Anupam, welcome back. How are you? I can give you the levels. I've got the pivot at 39.10, 39.10. Support at 39 even, 38.90, 84 and 77. Got resistance at 18, 25, 32 and 37. A lot of movement today, so I'm not sure how valid the levels are at the moment. I just wanted to make sure you had them. Hey, Chandu, are you back? Let me know in chat. And Uzier, let me know if you're back. Thank you. Thanks, Robert.
All right, as you can see here, we've got into the mid-afternoon trade, and it's getting a little bit choppy. Guess trying to figure out what it wants to do. We're getting some big ranges though, so we have to be a little bit careful. We get into these no trade zone areas, and it's becoming a little bit tricky to trade. The 3,900 level, the even level, which was a level that we gave out earlier, seemed to have held this time around. If you did partake in the trade, not something that we like to do, but given the circumstances of the day, and maybe you could have made a case for it, at least going and retest that spike low there, and kind of 39 was in the way. That's kind of why it held. But now we're trying to rotate back up here. Anything below 0403 probably don't want to be long anymore if you're thinking of the market might rotate back up. But that 0403 area is going to be a key to your longs if you want to find an entry point with an appropriate amount of risk, or if you want to try to stay long, you can stay long here above the 0304 area. And you got to get above 12 again to get a rotation higher. It's just a very tough little trade, and market is just doesn't know what it wants to do. There's a little bit of pressure on it, but then you get these mid-afternoon rally or these afternoon rallies are kind of staying in a range, even though it's a big range today. So you got to be a little bit careful as you're trading when the market's not giving us any directions. Our levels did work very nicely this morning. We had a few good opportunities, and then you get to this late afternoon trade where the market just bounces around here and it becomes a little bit difficult to try to catch on to something or have any um, have a lot of confidence in finding a trade or putting on a trade, only because of the nature of the trade. As this afternoon, it's kind of found its this area here where it wants to just kind of bounce around and do nothing. So be careful. Again, you have your exit strategies, and then see where you want to have your entry points, if at all, or just kind of wait for it to kind of maybe hit a level. But it's a very tough trade right now in the afternoon, and that's why we focus more in the morning hours to give us some good opportunities. As the markets do move a little bit more favorably in the morning hours than they do in the late afternoon or late morning or early afternoon, however you want to classify this time of the day. All right, so again, no strong conviction one way or the other here. As it's basically just bouncing around, going nowhere fast. This is like what I like to call is the no trade zone. I think sometimes HD you just try to do a little bit too much, and when there's nothing there. I think that would be the easiest way to explain that statement that you made, that you told me. And I get it because I've done that where I've tried to make something out of nothing, and it always comes back and bites me in the where. So I think I know what you're talking about. I don't know if that's could be the same situation, but I think it's just I just think that it's yeah. I mean, right now there is no good trades right now. I mean, and this time of day this is just guessing. So instead of trying to just force it or trying to find something, just it's just not worth the aggravation because well, you could be right, but it's not going to give it to you right away, and then you're like working it and working it and working it. You just this is just a bad time to trade right now. This is just really the market doesn't know what. I mean, I would really just wait, look on the downside, look at 90, or on the upside, look at the 25 area, and in the middle here, I just this is getting really both sides of our blue band, both sides. You think it's going one way, the reverses goes the other. The market is just trying to figure out what it wants to do, I think, and which is fine. I mean, that happens. That's where we're at today. So there's always tomorrow. Yeah, I think that's what you should do. Just bite the bullet and just either wait for 90 or 25. And this middle stuff, don't force it. I mean, we're bullish now, but in 2 minutes it could go bearish because there's just no follow through. And that's what happens in the afternoon.
Hey, quick shout out and welcome to Andrew. Hey, Andrew, welcome. Hey, Michael K, welcome back. Hey, Michael, I wanted to follow up with you. How do I best do that? Michael K, I know you're interested in Saul's services and his mentoring. So let me know the best way to follow up with you. If you want to post your telephone number, that'd be great too. Hey, Andrew C, let us know what you're trading. Hey, Chandu, are you back? Let me know in chat, Chandu. Oh, that'd be great. I'll give you a ring up then. And Andrew, let us know what you're trading. Hey, Michael, no problem. It sounds good. And I'll probably be calling you on a 347 number because that's my cell, just so you know. Usually we do it on the 312 number. So I can do a quick overview for everybody um, about what we do here on a daily basis and what the opportunities are. You're connecting to a seasoned trader. His name is Sal Shaul. He's been a fixture on the CME Group trading floor in Chicago. He trades and scalps the S&P 500 E-mini for his own trading account. He's been doing it for 25 years plus. You would normally be connecting to him right on the trading floor, the trading pits in Chicago. Right now, you're connecting to him at his, well, in his bunker, I would say. Sol is there during the day. He is scalping. For his own trading account. And he's also providing a service, and this is his service, is that he has opened up a room, a Zoom room, where as a new trader or an experienced trader, there are deliverables based on this service. The first deliverable is coming in as a guest and receiving Sol's trading zones. These are areas that he's looking at for this morning's trade in his own trading, and these are very well sought after levels and numbers that he gives out right around the cash open as a opportunity for individuals to a start to appreciate and understand what we do here, because Sol's levels, you might find, and we allow you to make the judgment, that Sol's levels are very good, that Sol's levels, the generally on a general trading day that doesn't get out of sorts, Sol's levels are levels that are zones you can generally count on based on areas where the market will make change, and you can capitalize on that change based on entries, exits, and stops based on Sol's price action trading methodology. So for new people, it's great because you're coming in, you have the experience to help you start out from software selection to setting up your charts. I guess I should say brokerage selection because we have a few that Sol likes. The ability to set up your trading system, your trading charts, and your order entry the right way so you have an advantage right out of the gate over other traders because you don't have to try to figure it out on your own or get set up improperly. And then you have the opportunity to come in, you start to pay attention to Sol's levels and his zones, and then now you have a better shot at not wasting your time chasing the market. It starts out with a real disciplined approach to today's trade based on today's price movement and Sol's zones or his scalping levels. So let's just think about that for a minute. If you get that far based on what Sol is offering, you are way ahead of the game based on the opportunity and utilizing Sol's deliverables based on this service. You also have his commentary. Now, Sol is trading and scalping, utilizing these areas, zones, levels, and looking to do that during the morning session. So he is looking at the same areas you're looking at. So when you ask him a question, you're going to get an answer. You're also going to be able to pick up on what he's doing based on his commentary, and you can interact with him based on the trade during the morning session. And the reason I say morning session is, right now it's 12:14 p.m. It is February 17th, 2021. It's a Wednesday. Everything we do is for educational purposes only. Nothing is to be taken as direct trading advice. You're trading at risk between you, yourself, and your broker. Having said that, how do you narrow down your day so that you can be prepared for the opening bell based on having these zones? And then based on price movement and price change after the opening bell, the reaction and the putting on trades and taking them off at these areas is a real advantage to you because now you're focused. Now you're starting to understand why you're doing trades and why you're not doing other trades. And now you've got an advantage over other traders. And in a zero sum game, that's where you want to be. So, having said that, that's what we do on a daily basis. and that's the opportunity to join this service as a first as a guest based on the recommendation that you had, and other individuals are coming into the service or connecting from the outside and then coming into Zoom directly, going to pitiq.tv. So that's really it in a nutshell. Sol has advanced opportunities for people that join the family. What is joining the family? It's signing up and paying a nominal $25 a week at this point based on his current discount. Usually it's $379 a month. Right now he's got it back on at $100. It's really respect. And the other thing that we talk about from time to time is that trading is a big game. You're at risk for your money. You're at risk for your money based on your time, effort, your seat, what it costs to keep you in a seat, the internet and all that other stuff. And then there's commissions, there's trading losses, there's getting stopped out on trades. There's all sorts of stuff that impact what you're doing and how you do it. And there's people that take a lot of time trying to figure that out and may never. I would say the failure in trading is pretty high if you don't know what you're doing or if you're trying to pick it apart piece by piece and trying to figure it out. So Saul has an intensive where he takes individuals under his wing. So first thing is you join the family. I think what you're talking about based on class time is that Saul has class for those well, the stepping stone is guest, then you join his monthly and get the discount, right? We hope. And if you paid regular price, it doesn't matter. Regular price is darn good too for what you get. And the intensive is for those that are part of Saul's monthly that want to have him directly take them, you could be, under his wing and teach you his trading methodology, how to set up for the entries, exits, and stops in and around his zones or his levels, and then the critique and the adjusting and the tweaking based on the reality of your learning curve and the entries, exits, and stops in and around your learning curve. So that's what we do. And that's really an individual opportunity. It's not for everybody, but it's individualized for those people. So, Andrew, you would come in a bunch of times, right? I mean, you've been here before. Sometimes it comes back to me slowly and surely. So, Andrew, do you want me to give you a ring up? Andrew, that might be. I mean, I don't think so because the opportunity to start out on the right foot is really, I guess, the key to trading success because there's an awful lot of fishing around for information and a lot of wasted time, for traders that are just starting out trying to figure it all out. Price action trading, I consider, in my humble opinion, the last bastion of hope for traders. You're coming in to that situation possibly as a new trader, so you have a unique advantage of being new and going right to where the money is at the price action level of the trade instead of wasting it, in my opinion, learning all about charting and crazy stuff that goes along with the sort of the industry. I mean, think about it. There is so much information involved in the trading industry that has been developed and shoved into trading platforms that there's a lot of people that spend a lot of time learning that, and they have great conversation about it, but they can't make any money. It just doesn't turn into money. It turns into good conversation about trading. What's lucky for you, if you choose to see it, is that you have found a place where you're concentrating on your entries, exits, and stops in the S&P 500 E-mini, and then doing it again tomorrow, and not worrying about. I mean, if you look at Sal's charts, think about you using his charts and the simplicity of that versus the complexity that very smart people out there end up doing, based on their trading. So I think whoever sent you here, is looking out for you. But I mean, it's really up to you. You have to decide where you are in the curve and how long you have, because trading is once you saw through or burn through or not make any money for a while, you end up out of business. So the sooner you can get to to the money, the better for you. And what is banker's candle? Is that something I should know? I'm not sure if somebody put something out for Saul or which could happen. Crazy things sometimes happen, but at least you're here and you get to start to understand what the opportunities are. Just let me know if you have any more questions. So we do this every day. You can focus on a daily basis, start to pick up on what goes on, and look to make it your own. But that's up to you. It's your business. You're the talent in your business. And what do they do? So the so is it banker's candle? Like a candle? Like Japanese candles? Oh, I gotcha. So, well, how should I put this? I think you stumbled onto the right place, but I think an angel on your shoulder must have done that for you, because that would have been a colossal waste of time. It's funny, we get a lot of traders that have been trading for a while, that just really want to focus on the money and how they can make it and things they need to change and adapt to be able to do that. But all the fluff and all the stuff that happens based on these candles and all the stuff, it's all lagging stuff. Like it's stuff that happened in the past, whether it's short-term past or medium-term past. Here we're looking at what the change is so that you can bank the change and make your money. And that's a huge difference between lagging, which charting is all lagging, right? It's not what happens after, it's what's happened before or currently. All the indicators, crosses, time frames is really just a mosh pit of trouble. But it might take some time, and this happens a lot, is that traders that are new are looking for the answer, and they'll spend a lot of time looking for it. Then they'll realize that all the stuff they're using really has no answer, and it's frustrating. And then they're almost out of time based on their trading career, independent trading career. And then they're like, oh, I gotta, and then hopefully they find somebody that can teach them how to look forward based on the price change instead of what just happened or is being signaled in the past. That's a big deal. But anyway, that's really up to you. If you want to hang here, you can. More than welcome. We start here at 9 a.m. Eastern. We go through um, the morning session in New York. We're done. By now, if you haven't banked your money, you should raise your hand for help. But the point is that somehow an angel directed you to the right place. So this is Sal Shul. So he's a trader, and it's his price action trading methodology. So when you're dealing here, now let's say you're learning from somebody, right? You're actually learning from a person that's been doing this for 25 years or so on the trading floor, the trading pits in Chicago, focused on the S&P 500 E-mini. So you're not working with a set of individuals, you're working with one person, and that's him. So it's not like there's a company trying to market out, some trading, theory or, something that has some buzz to it. I mean, I wouldn't spend 10 minutes doing that, but people do. Sometimes, and I'll tell you this, sometimes you have to try it, lose money, and then then you're ready for the next step. But just don't lose all your money before you come back. You know what I mean? I mean, that's part of it too. The other thing, and I would say as a general rule, is that there is no guarantee you'll ever make a dime in trading. And we wouldn't even tell you that because you can't, because everybody is individual. Everybody's an individual and they have their own temperament. They have their own, way of screwing themselves up. Some of this is a mind game too. And Saul helps people with the mind games. And then we have the doctor of trading distress, and that's for individuals that are sort of caught and they need somebody to sort of work them out of their, uh, trading dilemma or losses, the whole Megillah. And the doctor's very good at that. Now, he's not an official doctor. He's just been around for a long time. And because his information and his ability to really nail it when it comes to trading issues, that he has got the ceremonial title as doctor. Yeah, I mean, money management is a big deal. But I can tell you the money management that goes on based on Saul's activity is a very simple one. He generally has a 2 point stop and he's looking for a 2 point plus profit on his trades. And that really does help with money management. He has entries, exits, and stops that may be different than you're doing now or have learned to do. But the key thing here is that you really need to focus on practicing with one contract against real time data based on a real trading opportunity. And that's what we look to provide here. But until you're into actual risk, you should really, it's just like anything else. There's people that like to gamble in Las Vegas or and they love the shows and they know they're going to lose their money. And sometimes they get lucky and they make some money and it brings them back to the tables. It's having like, you play 18 holes of golf and you have the first, the last 10 shots or whatever bring you back to come back and play again because you made some really good ones. Trading, there's people that know what they're doing. They understand what the game is. They're mastering the game. They know how to take money from other people and they come back and do it again and again and again. And when they need help and adjustment based on their technique, they find somebody like Saul to be able to keep them in the game. So they learn from Saul. They are schooled by him. They are just looking at money based on it. If they banked $100 today, they're happy. They raise their contract size. They can be happier based on the S&P 500 E-mini. But it's in the doing. So when you come in, let's say you decide you're interested in becoming part of the family, right? And now you want to set yourself up. You want to have what Saul has based on his charts. Then you want to make sure your order entry is good. You want to make sure you got real time data at a broker that can deliver it pretty fast to you and you can interact on it pretty fast. Now you get Saul's levels in the morning. You plot those levels. Then you see what happens at the levels. You'll be able to tell right away or within a reasonable period of time whether Saul's levels are any good or not. If it happens to be that Saul's levels are really good, then you're onto something. And now it's what to do with the levels. Then you practice. You look at the price movement. You practice trade until you get good at it. And only then do you risk your capital. And now you have to learn how to handle risk because you know what you're doing. Now you got to apply it. And based on application, you're listening to Sal's commentary and what's happening. There are days where you shouldn't trade. There are days you should have traded in the morning and you don't trade, late day morning. There are other days where late day morning is better than the morning. You'll start to pick up on that. And it's a taught experience. And it is a grind to get yourself into the groove to be able to do this. It takes time, effort, focus, and there's no guarantees. We can do a lot of things for you. Okay, I mean, you know, which is a good question. Will he teach us where to put the resistance and support? Now, let's just go back to the concept of Sol's levels. So, if Sol's giving you levels, and I can give you the levels he gave today, and remember the market, things adapt and change based on the market condition. So, when he comes in, he gives out levels, and these are levels that he's using in his own trading. Okay, so I'm going to give you the representative levels for today so that you can understand where to start. Okay, starting obviously with the platform, order entry, simplified charts, none of this crazy other stuff that we're talking about here, the Japanese candles or all this lagging other stuff. So he had a pivot. So this is, let's say, his first zone, if you will, was 39.10, 39.10 in the S&P 500 E-mini. Now you're talking about support and resistance, that type of thing. He had 39 even as support, 38.90, 84, and 77. Resistance at 18, 25, 32, and 37. So that's the answer to your question. Now you would load those into your charts. Those would be the areas that you would pay attention to and really no others until you get good at it. And you would listen to Sal's commentary during the session based on the reality of price change. And now you have a business for yourself. You have a focus for your being the talent in your trading business. You're the money person. You set up your business and now you're the talent in your business. And think about it. You're either going to excel in your trading business or you're going to have to look in the mirror and fire yourself if you're terrible at it and you're not, you don't understand, or you need to get help. You need somebody to teach you. And people are taught how to be a professional gambler. People are taught how to be a brain surgeon. Brain surgery doesn't happen, when you're practicing on a coconut. Okay, you are what? You are responsible for your money. So take ownership of that and learn. So yes, we can recommend a broker. We can do a whole bunch of things. I'm going to send you out an opportunity to join us at 25 bucks a week. Okay? Now you can go elsewhere, I'm sure, for free, but that would be up to you. You want to take the steps and then it rolls over at 100 bucks a month, which is still 25 bucks a week. But I have to authorize you in the background for that, so let me know if you decide to do it. And then we can get into all sorts of things that we help people out based on being part of the family. And listen, we have people that won't pay 25 bucks. They don't stay long because I give them the heave, but a lot of it's just out of respect. Hey, Ken D, I'll send it out to you too so you have it. I don't want you to think I was not paying attention to you. Hopefully you heard a lot of what we just talked about. And Dove, let me know what you want to do. I know you're not feeling too good. Let me know if I can help you in any way, okay? And I wish you the best recovery. Or wish you the best in your recovery. And Angie, you're more than welcome to do that. It's always good to have a date so that you can focus. And if you need help with anything, after Friday, we'll become part of the family, and we'll take it from there. Not a problem. I appreciate you stopping in. And if you like what we're doing here, tell your friends. It's interesting because this is a little family, and Sol's a good guy. He's been doing this for 25 years or so. He's very thoughtful in working with individual traders, especially in his intensive. And he gives a great measure of himself intraday based on his levels, his zones, his commentary, and he's got a nice group of people. Yeah, that's why I say there must have been an angel on your shoulder pointing you in the right direction. And it's interesting too. There's a lot of goodwill out there about Sol. He's been doing this. He's not. He's a trader, and trading is his first. Like every day he comes in, the first thing he looks to do is take the time to set his levels for himself. So his TikTok, which I think is interesting, is that he doesn't know. It's very hard to do this, by the way. And there's some days where he even falls into the trap because it seems so obvious based on market direction and action, is that he comes through as a blank slate to his trading on a daily basis. That's his attempt. So when he comes in, he sets his levels and then he sets those levels into his order entry, loads them in so he has them ready to go, and then he lets the cash market open. So right now it's 12:43 p.m. Eastern Time. We're here at around 9:15. We open up at 9 a.m., get things set up around 9:15. We start. He comes in around 9:27-ish in that area. He picks up the microphone. He gives out the levels to everybody. Then he lets the cash market open up at 9:30. And then he lets some bars paint and he gets a sense of what's happening based on the risk management and money management that the market is showing him based on the cash open and a little after. Now, he may have a trade on right around his pivot, put one on, or he could wait to see how his levels are working. So that's really part of the nuance of how to do this and following understanding what Saul does. It's like try to be like Saul. And a lot of traders will do that. And then during the morning session, they will listen to his commentary and he adjusts based on the reality of how the levels are working and price movement, which is price action, and how it relates to him making money or how it relates now to you making money based on generally having a 2-point stop, but that can expand based on that risk assessment in the morning after the bell. He may move it out to 3. He may move it out to 4, depending on what's happening based on the reality of the market. And then you have the other side. How much can I bank based on what the current market is telling me, based on how it is behaving, based on price action after the bell? He may look for 2 points plus generally, but he can expand that out to 3 points or 4 points based on it. But think about this. If you do one contract and you're able to pick up 2 points and then stop trading for the day, you've made a good day's earning. If you get better and better at this and you can pick up using 2 contracts and pick up 2 points or 2 points plus on one trade, based on a disciplined approach to that trade, based on price action and Sal's methodology, then you are so far ahead of the game. And if you can control yourself and discipline yourself to just try to do that in the beginning, then you can have a trading business for yourself based on increasing your contract size, based on your ability, newfound trading ability, and your confidence. And that's a lot of it is confidence. So 2 points would be $100 on one, less commissions and that type of thing. And really, Andrew, that's something you have to learn. Um, so when you set up, let's say you join the family and you get referred to somebody who we know that's a broker, you really got to delve into the risks associated with trading, the commissions, right? The fees. That's an important thing, so that you have, when you sign up with a broker, you have to agree, that you can handle the risk and you're using only risk capital based on your account. But that's something that's really important. But we'll get there. Take one step at a time and focus. Hey, Ken, did you get that info also? Just let me know back in chat that you're able to see our charts. And again, if anybody wants to, that it's part of Sal's family now, wants to talk about Sal's intensive, let me know. Yeah, he's got some great opportunities on that now for traders. So Ken, let me know if you're tuned in. Michael, okay, yeah, I'll ring you. I've got to go out for a little bit, but I'll ring you after. That's no problem. And Michael, did you get the offer for the discounted monthly so you can come and go as you please? Let me send that out to you because that's really the place to start. And it's so nominal that hey Ken, that's not a problem. So did you hear my, overall? I mean, I'm not sure when you came in because I was just chatting it up about the opportunities for trading the S&P 500 E-mini. If you're just let me know if you're new or experienced. We get a lot of new traders that are looking to focus on making money on their computer, and they're looking for somebody to be able to help them skip ahead of the line when it comes to focusing on where the money is and learning how to grab 2 points plus, generally with a 2 point stop. And again, everything changes. It's like there are people that we know or have known that spend a lot of time, and they're very smart people. They spend a lot of time working on their trading plan in a very serious manner, reviewing their charts and, getting ready for the trading morning. And, they're pretty focused on what's going to happen and how they're going to plan out their day. And some people even write algorithms and all sorts of things that they are so smart they want to automate their trading and put everything on autopilot, which isn't a bad thought process, right? Unfortunately, when the cash market opens up at 9:30, it's like best laid plans for battle go out the window as soon as the battle starts, and then people are playing catch up ball and adjusting on the fly. And believe me, I it just turns out to be a problem. And one of the reasons it turns out to be a problem is that there's a huge traffic jam of people that are all rushing in, and some people have an idea what they're doing, like the professional gamblers, and most people, and this is in the high 90 percentile, are winging it. They may believe they're doing the right thing. They may believe that they're constructing and being constructive in the market at those times. But your software gives you time frames, crosses, all sorts of indicators, noise, you know, moving averages, Japanese candles, all sorts of crazy stuff. And it's really impossible to absorb it all and start to understand because everybody is jumping in. And what the most frustrating part is, and I don't know, new traders might not understand this yet, but trading software, in my humble opinion, is a false friend because it lulls you into a sense of you knowing what you're doing and being able to see it. Then you get the traffic jam, and people are pretty smart. They may know where the market is going based on what they're reading, but they get stopped out. And then it goes where they thought it was going to go. And then the frustration and the doubt comes in. Now, you may say, well, what is different here? And that's what we were talking about, the difference of letting all those people fight it out, right? And then having levels, and you can witness them, right? It's a witness thing. When Saul gives you his levels in the morning and you write them down and you pay attention to what happens at those levels, then you have a leg up in starting to count based on confidence and witnessing whether Saul's any good at what he does and whether it can help you to be able to grab your 2 points plus on a trade and bank your money for the day. Because that's all it really is. It's not about all the distraction. And one thing I would say that you should pay attention to is if there's news coming out or the market's completely dislocated based on, some event. Event trading becomes a one-way situation with some opportunity in it, but that's also taught. So who are you going to lean on to teach you, adjust you, and tweak you on how to wrestle the market for a short period of time based on a discipline and be able to pull away from the market, go off and do something else after having banked your money for the day? Who's going to reinforce what you did well and who is going to show you, teach you, adjust you based on what you did poorly? And that's part of it. Oh, Ken, welcome back. So Ken, if you end up, so I'm just going to send this out to you. I think I did, but not sure. Um, so it's 25 bucks a week based on the current offer. I don't want you to miss it, so I'm going to give it to you. If you're just coming back, I think you came to the right place, but I'm, a little, call me crazy. This is so nominal. It's just really out of respect, but I wanted to make sure that respected you by sending it to you. And it rolls over at the 100 if you decide to take it. In other words, it doesn't go up to 379. You get to keep it. And then we can start working you in and welcoming you back to trading. So a little background on Saul. He's a CME Group floor member. You would normally be getting him in his Zoom room on the trading floor, trading pits at his private booth, which he has earned the right to be at based on his trading career. And that's a very big deal. So if you know anything about the trading pits in Chicago, just to be able to survive and trade there is unbelievable. He's trading from his bunker right now in an undisclosed location because of COVID. And depending on what happens with the CME, he might be back. Who knows? It just depends if he wants to, leave his bunker or not. But he's been doing great. But anyway, so just let me know. So I'm going to be stepping out. I've got to go out for a little bit. Got a big storm coming here tomorrow, 8 to 10 inches supposedly. So I've got to get some provisions in. Got to stack the wood. Got to get ready. Got to make sure that the pipes are dripping. The faucets are dripping so they don't freeze. But as long as the internet access holds out, we'll still be. And actually, I laugh because Sal's in Chicago. I'm in New York. And Sal, Chicago is really cold. And it's really frigid outside, and it stays frigid for a long time. Here it sort of comes and goes. But we've gotten more snow this year than I've seen in a long time, which I think is interesting. And it's been pretty cold outside. So, so let us know how we can help you. Ken, let me know if you got that. Just so I know you have it. Hey, Chandu, are you back? Just let me know. And Andrew, you've got what you need, and we'll talk between now and Friday. Ken, you don't know, but I can tell you that. Well, actually, this is what individuals do, and this is a unique opportunity for those that are coming in. Is that when Saul sets his levels for the morning, he gives them out to everybody. Now, if Saul's levels aren't good, and the only way you can get him right is by coming in. You can come as a guest. You can get his levels. You get him right before the cash open, right? Then the cash opens. The cash market opens, and those levels then are fair game based on price movement and price change. And the feedback that we get, because Saul doesn't tout his own horn, is that his levels are great. What does that mean? That means that the market makes change at those levels and you can count on those levels. Having said that, you're the witness. So when you come in and you are a witness, you can interact with Saul. You can, chat back and forth. He'll answer you publicly or privately in this service. He is trading and scalping. He does a review at the end of the morning session if you ask him, but it's pretty obvious. And yeah, so I mean, there's that opportunity. Every once in a while, he gets individuals that come in and they want to do a forensic audit of his body, and he doesn't do that. I know that there are people that have been burned before or jaded or, just like to ask questions like that. And, if they can't pick up on it on their own, then it's very hard to convince anybody of anything. Do I think, you know, and I guess the other thing too is if you want to talk to somebody, so this is the stepping stone. You come in as a guest, you pay the nominal fee, right, to come and go as you please. It's so nominal that it really separates people out. It's like the same thing. Are individuals that come in, are they real? If they can't pay 25 bucks a week, then why would you even talk to them, right? And we've learned that based on what happens on the internet. So a lot of people get weeded out that are not serious. Like you said, you've traded in the past, and you know what I mean? All that stuff is all good stuff. But if people can't, what do you have to have in your account? Your margin has to be significant. You do one trade and you make them, you screw up, you've lost more than 25 bucks. You know what I mean? Commissions and fees could eat that stuff up. So it's really not a big stretch. And I call it's respect, right? On the other hand, if you're coming back into trading and you want somebody to actually teach you and you have the means to have that done, then you would come in as a guest, you would do the 25 bucks, right? Come and go as you please, and then you would set up an appointment to talk about Sol's Intensive. And then at that point, you can talk to people that are in here that have taken it and get their unvarnished opinions of whether it helped them in their trading. And individuals have been in all sorts of situations with, oh, well, just got the word that Rush Limbaugh died. Wow, he died at the age of 70. God, that's terrible. Yeah, Ken, it's just out of respect. And that's interesting too, because I think because of COVID, there's a lot of new people are coming in, and his intensive is another whole Megillah. And Ken, I think I love you. You're like a doubting Thomas, so I have to call you a doubting Ken. And listen, I can't. You got to decide if you're going to stick around or not. Doesn't really matter to us, but at the same time, it's your choice. But I mean, that's a good question. Why would we do that? If it's 379, why don't we keep it at 379 and instead of 100? And actually, that's like an old phrase, right? Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Well, that's great. Then you have no worries about cash, right? It's not like you're a trader that's losing money in his other stuff and needs a gift, right? You actually can pay it forward. Paying it forward is a big thing. So you know what I can do for you if you want is I can send you out a link to pay. Well, it's 379. We'll round it up to 400, and then we'll give 300 in $100 increments to some individuals that need the like on a pay it forward type thing. So if you want to do that, that'd be great. I think the pay it forward thing, is a great option. We were watching a show on CNN about a section of Italy. Now, the section of Italy has a thing where you go and you get an espresso coffee at one of the vendors that are on the street. And let's say you're buying two coffees, one for whomever, you actually get three. And then the pay it forward is the one that the guy saves for somebody who needs it. So that was pretty cool. So if you want to do that, we could do that with you. We can do that with anybody. Just let us know. We'll be happy to do that. And that's actually a nice thing. So the so the original concept of the nominal fee of 25 a week came out of a thought that it was just a respect thing. So and it's turned out pretty well. There's a reason why we're here, and there's also a reason why we provide information and help people get ahead based on the current state of the market and the industry. But anyway, so you decide. You've got your information. Let me know, and we'll take it from there. And Chandu, are you back, or you just came in and then like bolted for the day, which is fine, but you better do that as being part of the family. And Ken, let me know what you want to do. I'll be looking just before I go. And Dove, again, let me know. Hope you're feeling better. Hey, Ken, that's great. Are you saying that you're talking about Sol's intensive when it comes to having something to do with dip it into your trading capital? Or are you concerned about the 25 bucks? Just let me know which one. Hey, HD, did you reach out to Saul? Did you text him at all? Just let me know. Yeah, HD, did you text Saul? Okay, good. You just wanted to know who it was. No, no, it went to him. He just didn't recognize who it was from. So just put your name in it. Next time. That's fine. But just put your name in it. They just reached out to me just to see because it didn't come in. Might have come in on a number they didn't recognize. Hey Ken, did you want to talk on the telephone, or have I not given? Is there anything else that I can help you with? I just feel bad because for some reason I think we're not communicating, and I want to make sure that I'm giving you what you need to make a value decision for yourself. And listen, maybe I'm too casual about the 25 bucks. Maybe that's a lot of money. I don't know. Maybe what I'll do is I'll say a consulting fee for my time should be $1,000 an hour. To help people get set off on the right foot. So, okay. So when I was talking about earlier, and I guess maybe it's me. So when I talk about Sol's levels and people pay for just his levels because they're better levels in the S&P 500 E-mini, that's one offering. That's one fulfillment of the monthly opportunity. Then his commentary in and around those levels is another one. And is that worth 25 bucks a week? Or what is it, $79 or whatever if it's 379 a week? And then if I was starting out in trading, the ES versus what you were doing, to have somebody be able to work with you, is a whole nother Megillah. But anyway, so that's cool. Yeah, no, I understand. I understand. So I don't. So you have to help me help you, or else I got to stop talking because I'm getting all tongue twisted. I mean, it almost sounds like, and it might, something. It might be just me. So if I've not provided you with the information that you need, then spell it out, and then I'll try to do that. And if I can't do that, then we'll just part ways. I'm sure there's somebody else out there that will give you what you're looking for. And maybe I talk too much. I should just say pay or beat it. Yeah, no, I understand. And Ken, I think you've been in before, right? I'm not sure. I think I remember the name. That's not a problem. Just lay out like in a couple sentences what you need, and if I can do that, great. It's interesting. Trading is about money, and so is services. And you got to decide where you want to be. For those that are joining us on the outside, join us on the inside. Just come into pitiq.tv. That's www.pitiq.tv.